So with 2-5, 2-5 is learning about solving equations with variables on both sides. Last week, we did equations that had letters on the same side of the equal sign. Today you're going to have letters on both sides of the equal sign. Well, you can't just add them together like terms, all right? If you take a look at this first example, notice that I have the same exact equation on there twice. Whenever you have letters on both sides of the equal sign, you need to get all the letters onto one side by adding or subtracting it from both sides. You can't just do this, all right? If you try and do this, which is what we did last week, that is wrong, all right? You cannot do that. You can only do combining like terms when the letters are on the same side of the equal sign. When the letters are on different sides, you can't do that, all right? So I'm going to erase that. That's not the way that it happens. So you do have your choice on what you want to do first. That's why I have the same problem on there twice. You could, if you wanted to, subtract 8x from both sides. Or you do have your choice. You could subtract 6x from both sides, all right? That way, we're trying to get the letters all on one side. It doesn't matter which way you do it. However, I would always use the smaller of the two letters. You'll work with less negatives that way if you choose to work with the smaller of the two letters. So I could subtract 8x from both sides. If I do that, these 8x's cancel out. Bring down your 14, bring down your equal sign. Make sure that you're bringing things straight down. 6x minus 8x is negative 2x. Bring down your plus 24. Now you just have a two-step equation. So to solve that two-step equation, remember you want to get the letter all by itself. So I need to do minus 24 and minus 24. 14 minus 24 is negative 10. Bring down your equal sign, bring down your negative 2x. Divide by negative 2 and negative 2. Negative 10 divided by negative 2 is positive 5. I'm going to do the same problem all over again. This time I'm trying to get all my letters onto one side. So I'm going to subtract 6x. Again, that's a positive 6. That's why we want to do minus 6 because we want them to zero out or cancel out. If this was a negative 6, which we'll see in future problems, then you would add 6 to both sides. But because this is a positive 6, we're going to do minus 6 and minus 6. So 8x minus 6x is 2x. Bring down everything else that you didn't use yet. Now, here's where you need to be careful. You're bringing down a positive 24. That says plus 24, so we're bringing down a positive 24. If that happened to say minus 24, you would have to bring down negative 24. So minus 14, 2x equals 10. Divide by 2, x equals 5. Notice that we got the same answer both ways, all right? So we did this problem the same exact, we did this problem two completely different ways. Over here, we worked with the 8x, and over here, we worked with the 6x, but we got the same answer in the end. You do have your choice, right? I would always work with the smaller of the two letters first. I would do it this way with the 6x. Notice that in the problem itself, there are less negatives, all right, if we work with the smaller of the two letters. And that will always happen. If we take a look at the next one, we have a 2x on one side and we have a 7x on the other. I would always work with the smaller of the two letters first. So to get rid of this 2x, the opposite of 2 is negative 2 or minus 2x. Again, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So those two x's cancel out or zero out. Bring down this 15. Now, again, be very careful when you bring things down. You need to be looking at that sign that's in front of the number. If that was a minus 15 in our problem, you'd be bringing down a negative 15. You have to bring down the sign that's in front of the number with it. 7x minus 2x is 5x. Bring down your minus 50. Now you just have a two-step equation, plus 50 plus 50. So 65 equals 5x. Divide by 5, divide by 5. 65 divided by 5 gives you 13. Now, you could, if you wanted to, check your answer. The way that you would check your answer is by taking your answer of 13, subbing it in for x there and subbing it in for x there. If we did that, we would end up with 2 times 13 right there, which is 26. 26 plus 15. 26 plus 15 is 41 on this side. On the other side, we would have 7 times 13, which gives you 91. 91 minus 50 is 41. So we get the same answer on both sides of the equal sign, so you know your answer was correct. But again, you're not going to be required to do the checks. Take a look at this one. Now again, I would always work with the smaller of the two letters first. So I would try and work with, you have a 9x and a negative 3x. I would try and get rid of that negative 3x. Now we're not going to, like in the previous problem, subtract the letter. We subtracted the letter because we had a 2x, a positive 2. So we wanted them to cancel out, which is why we did minus 2 to both sides. However, in this one, I want to try and get rid of this negative 3. I'm going to get rid of the negative 3x by adding 3x to both sides. That way, those 3's cancel out or zero out. 9x plus 3x is 12x. Bring down your minus 12, bring down your equal sign, bring down your 36. Now you just have a two-step equation. Plus 12 plus 12. So 12x equals 48. Divide by 12, divide by 12. X equals 4. Now, this one is a very, very tricky question, all right? I would work, you have a 4x and a 7x. I would work with a 4x. Now, be careful. This one is very different. I would, to try and get rid of those 4x's, I would subtract 4x from both sides. Not the tricky part yet. 7x minus 4x is 3x. Bring down our plus 9, bring down our equal sign. Here's the tricky part. Well, what the heck do I put on this right-hand side of the equal sign? Everything canceled out there. There's nothing left. Since there's nothing left, you have to put a 0 there. There is nothing left on that right-hand side of the equal sign. We had a 4x, but then we subtracted it. 4x minus 4x is 0. We just put 0 there. You can't just leave it blank. You can't just move the 9 over to the other side. You have to make sure that you bring things straight down. So now here's our equation that we're going to solve, just a two-step equation. So 3x equals negative 9. Divide by 3's, x equals negative 3. Go ahead and try this next one on your own, please. Go ahead and try this next one on your own. I'm going to give you about 1 minute to do it. Remember that anytime that you have a letter all by itself, there's really a 1 there. So that negative x is really a negative 1x. So looking at this question, you have a 2x and a negative 1x. I would always personally work with the smaller of the letters first. So to get rid of that negative 1x, I would add 1x and add 1x. However, you might have done the same problem by subtracting 2x from both sides. Either way you do it, you should get the same answer in the end. 2x plus 1x is 3x. Bring down our plus 16, bring down our equal sign. Here's the tricky part. I warned you about this in previous questions. You have to bring down a negative 5 here. Because of that sign that's in front of the 5, that minus sign, this becomes a negative 5 when you bring it down. Be very, very careful. Minus 16, minus 16. So 3x equals negative 21. Divide by 3's. X equals negative 7. Go ahead and try this one, please. So you have your choice. You could either work with the 10n or the negative 5n. I would work with the smaller of the two letters first. So I would try and work with the negative 5n by doing plus 5n and plus 5n. Those 5n's cancel out. You could have, if you wanted to, you could have subtracted 10n from both sides as well. So 15n plus 15 equals 45. Again, you have to look at that sign that's in front of the 45. That's a plus sign, so that's going to be a positive 45. Minus 15, minus 15. So 15n equals 30. Divide by 15, divide by 15. N equals 2. Go ahead and try this last one, please. Try this one on your own as well. So again, you have a 4t on one side and you have a 6t on the other. I would always work with the smaller of the two letters first. So I would personally do minus 4t and minus 4t. If you wanted to, however, you could do minus 6t and minus 6t. Those 4t's cancel out. Bring down your 100, bring down your equal sign. 6t minus 4t is 2t. Bring down your plus 80. Minus 80 minus 80. So we have 20 equals 2t. Divide by 2, divide by 2. You get 10 equals t. That is the lesson for 2-5. Your homework today is 2-5 in class kick. Does anyone have